in its inspiring examples of how to take care about defense. And a time really when security and defense are top priorities of the presidency of Poland and the whole European Union. Just 2 weeks after the European Commission presented really, I would say, historic proposal for the defense and security of Europe. And historic not because I was part of that, drafting team, but definitely this is the first time when European Union is coming with some kind of such proposals on defense and security. Proposals to radically scale up and speed up defense spending and production. And Warsaw really is one of the first European capitals I visit to present these initiatives because of the great leadership Poland is showing on defense and security. There is a quote which I like to use. I admit I did not think it up myself, but the quote is very simple. 450 million European Union citizens should not have to depend on 340 million Americans to defend ourselves against 140 million Russians who cannot defeat 38 million Ukrainians. End of quote. The inspiration for this quote, which I used in presentation of white paper after it was adopted, comes again from Poland. As it appears that Polish expert in foreign policy Zbigniew Pisarski said it before me, and Prime Minister Donald Tusk also said it before me. I thank them both for such kind of inspiration, because it shows a clear and simple truth. If we unite as Europe and mobilize our economic might, we need to fear no aggressor. And I thank again Poland for your inspiring leadership on defense. Poland definitely has one of the strongest defense industries in Europe, on land, on sea, and in the air and in space, making land vehicles of all types, naval vessels, communication systems, radar systems, anti-aircraft and missile defense. And perhaps the jewel in the crown, the aerospace sector, aircraft, components and simulators. Poland is showing Europe the way forward on defense. This year, if I am correct, Poland will spend 4.7% of its GDP on defense. And Poland is planning to double its military to 500,000 soldiers. More countries really should follow this Polish example. And you are scaling up your industry right here in Poland. Because you know and we know, defense industry is not just an industry, it's not a normal industry, but for defense. That needs to be close to crisis zones and front lines. And to scale up your defense, you are also buying Polish. For example, the Borsuk fighting vehicle you are developing. A Polish fighting vehicle. And again, you are showing the right example, buying European. We want to build up European defense industry right here in the European Union. Time for action really is now. Because not only Ukraine is under attack, we all are under attack, already now. Hybrid attacks are increasing, disinformation, attacks on Baltic Sea cables, arson, also here in Poland, weaponization of migrants at the EU border in the east, in Poland, but also Lithuania, Latvia and Finland. And if we do nothing, military attacks could soon follow these hybrid attacks. Russia is producing weapons on a massive scale, what we need to remember always. In 3 months, Russia makes more weapons than all NATO member states in 1 year. And soon, Putin could be tempted to use that military power. Intelligence services, as you know, report Russia is getting ready to challenge NATO Article 5 even before 2030. In 5 years or less, Russia could be willing and able to attack one or more European Union countries. As Commission President Ursula von der Leyen recently said, to prevent war, we must prepare for the war. We must reach a state of readiness that will deter Putin. That is why the European Commission presented 2 initiatives 2 weeks ago. To massively increase defense spending and to ramp up defense production. First, the Readiness 2030 plan, and second, the White Paper on European defense. The White Paper priorities, and to start with, first of all, defending Europe, defending Ukraine. By defending Ukraine, we are defending also Europe. Since the Russian invasion, we have supported Ukraine with 50 billion euro in military aid alone during the last 3 years. That's a lot, but annually it's less than 0.1% of our GDP. We can and must do more. The white paper sends a very clear and strong signal. Ukraine's security and the European Union security is one and the same. Ukraine's defense is an integral part of European defense. European defense is an integral part of Ukraine's defense. The white paper makes clear we must step our military support for Ukraine with artillery, ammunition, air defense, and much more. By teaming up with member states, Ukraine and Ukraine defense industry can benefit from the new SAFE program, 150 billion euro in loans backed by the European Union budget. And we shall integrate the European Union and Ukrainian defense industry. Integration will help Ukraine to scale up, modernize and step up production. And integration will benefit also European industry and our member states, because Ukraine produces modern weapons and equipment at much lower prices. And because we can learn a lot from Ukraine. Ukraine defense industry is young and dynamic, and it was tested in the battlefield, and is leading in innovation when it comes to artificial intelligence and when it comes to drones. Besides defending Ukraine, the implementation of the white paper will boost the defense of Europe. First, with a surge in defense spending, to make it possible for member states to reach 3.5% of GDP for defense spending, because many member states are far from Poland's level. The average, as you know, is just 2%. Second, we must close capability gaps, not only for the wars of today, but also for the wars of tomorrow. We lack thousands of tanks, armored vehicles, and pieces of artillery, and high-tech defense equipment. We need to close the gaps, first, by doing more of the same, massive production of what we are already producing. On top of that, develop strategic enablers, like strategic airlift, air-to-air refueling, or space assets. Implement big defense projects of common European interest, like the air defense shield or Eastern Border Defense Shield. And we must improve military mobility. It's not good to have a tank if you cannot get it to the battlefield. Weapons need to move quickly to where they are needed. And again, I can repeat, we must be ready to defend all EU borders, land, air, maritime, and in particular the European Union eastern border. The project for an eastern border shield is an example of a defense project of common European interest, which would strengthen the European Union's external land border with Russia and Belarus against military and hybrid threats, and would include a mixture of physical barriers, infrastructure development, and modern surveillance systems. So we will strengthen Europe's defense industrial base by removing obstacles through simplification, by reducing bureaucracy. Bureaucracy should be no obstacle to a surge in defense production. We must overcome fragmentation and push for more European investment and collaborative procurement. We must invest in a European defense industry. Again, I will repeat, from my point of view, defense is no normal industry, but a resource for defense, with a dividend, security. To protect our EU borders, we must build up an EU defense industry inside those borders, close to those borders. And we must learn from Ukraine defense industry surge, a real big bang from €1 billion production capacity in 2022 to €35 billion production capacity last year. A big bang of 35 times. We want to build a defense industry right here in Europe, so European taxpayer money creates European jobs right here in Europe, and Polish jobs right here in Poland. A massive surge in defense production will mean massive investment for industry, will bring innovation, big opportunities for businesses big and small, and big benefits for our regions and local communities, and will bring jobs, jobs, jobs. From now on, our priority is implementation, implementation, implementation. We need to understand that Putin will not be deterred if we just read the white paper to him. He will only be deterred if we turn the white paper into action. If we use it to build very real drones, tanks, artillery for our defense. To show Putin we have the political will, the economic power, and defense capabilities to deter aggression. To implement the white paper, to build up a European defense industry, we need to spend much more on defense. We also put forward proposals to rapidly scale up defense spending, Readiness 2030. A potential €800 billion extra for next 4 years. First, up to €650 billion by allowing member states greater fiscal flexibility, by excluding 1.5% of GDP from the deficit calculation. Second, the SAFE proposal, Security Action for Europe, 150 billion in attractive loans backed by the European Union budget, to be spent on 7 priority areas of military investment: air and missile defense, drone and anti-drone systems, military mobility, and more. Member States can spend that €650 billion of their funds in Europe and around the globe. And SAFE loans can be spent abroad too, as long as our like-minded partners conclude security and defense partnership with us. Let me also say what does not change and will not change. The member states are responsible and will stay responsible for defense. Poland decides how much to spend on defense. Poland decides what to buy for defense. The European Union offers support, European Union coordination, European Union laws, and European Union money. Member states lose not a fraction of sovereignty. The opposite is true. They will be better able to defend their territory. What also does not change, European Union is our economic powerhouse. NATO with member states is there for military defense. NATO together with member states makes military plans and also sets capability targets. The EU brings added value, budgetary, industrial, and regulatory clout, in order to assist member states in achieving defense readiness. No single member state alone can stand up against Russia, but together we can. The European Union is the biggest single market in the world, and NATO is the largest defensive military alliance in the world. The European Union economy is many times larger, at least 10 times larger, than the Russian economy. Together we can outspend and outproduce and outmatch Russia. But then we need to unite and show solidarity. Solidarity is our most important value, the foundation of the European Union. There is no better place to speak about solidarity than here in Poland. The best place of solidarity, Solidarność. I am still young but old enough to remember when it started. When Solidarność started, it was the beginning of the end of communism and the Soviet Union. As Lech Walesa said, I quote, "The fall of the Berlin Wall makes for nice pictures, but it all started in the shipyards." End of quote. And Solidarność was the beginning of everything we have today: EU NATO membership, our freedom and prosperity. And it's my mission to make clear in Europe, our defense is based on solidarity and on the principle of collective defense. If one country does not invest in their own defense, it weakens all others in their defense. An attack on one of us is an attack on all of us. Do not cross your own border. Even if the bombs do not hit your own countries, your own homes, they target all of us. They target our way of life. If the storm comes, no one will escape the devastation. We can still prevent catastrophe. We can still deter Russian aggression, prevent war and preserve peace. So here start again a solidarity movement.